How you doing? It's Dan here. I hope you're having a great time. We're back in the thick of things. It's been a bit Easter, bank holidays. I feel like now we've got kind of a couple months where we can get driven and focused on the summer and enjoy the nice summer that's going to come up and the weather and all the choices that brings with it. So I wanted to talk to you today about how to break the habit of eating junk, because over the many years of training people and with boot camp, people tend to live, and they have an idea, they live quite healthily the majority of the time, but normally they're either a weekend warrior where they're good all week and then they absolutely ruin themselves at the weekend, either eating too much food, socially, drinking, and then they get back to Monday again and they kind of feel like they're starting again. And also for those people that the majority of the time eat quite healthily, but likewise will have moments where they eat junk food, chocolate, crisps, sugar. The majority of the time it's at work in a corporate environment. I had this conversation last night, where chocolate or biscuits are around, they just can't help themselves get on, once they've kind of popped, they can't stop. So just a few kind of tips really and suggestions on how, if that's you, that you can improve your well-being, improve the way you look and feel, because you can go into a right self-sabotage mode and go on a bit of a binge, and it can, make you feel absolutely terrible. So how do we break the mold? Now, the first thing is, you won't be surprised that it's kind of like a change of mindset, really. What have we got? It fascinates me that a lot of the time that when we eat puddings or crisps or sweets or chocolate, or we're given gifts, sometimes we'll be given a treat, a box of chocolates, because it's celebratory or because you've done something good. And I think there is a big connotation, a connection between eating junk food, chocolates and sweets and all those nice things, when actually, is it truly a treat? Especially when people are really trying as hard as they can to look at their diet and improve their health and fitness and maybe drop a few pounds. Is eating chocolate a treat when really what you really want is to lose body fat? And so therefore it's a change in mindset to associate those things with a treat. In my mind, I wouldn't actually put something in my mouth which isn't going to fulfill and give me, allow my body to replenish and grow and feel good. It might taste great, chocolate, but it certainly isn't going to treat your body physically, mentally, is it? Maybe for a short period of time. And then you're left with feeling a little bit grossed out because, you've put on a few pounds and you don't feel, that good about yourself. So a change in mindset to me would be from seeing chocolate, crisps, biscuits, all those things, alcohol as a treat, to actually changing that and using healthy alternatives as a treat. And that way you're kind of seeing, as a bit of a paradigm shift, you're seeing the food in a different mindset. So that would be my first kind of question or observation or thing to look at, is how you actually see those foods. Is it actually a treat or not? What else we got? So this is a big one, because with that, when you're looking to try and change your habits, which is really what we're looking to do. If you see on this side, essentially, this is how habits work, okay? Habits work by there being some kind of cue, and that might be an emotional cue, it might be a thought, it might be a ritual, it might be a physical process, something that triggers a behavior is what we call a cue or a trigger. And that could be, for a lot of people, feeling a bit stressed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling upset, feeling like they live love or connection, feeling a bit down, feeling anxious. All these kind of things can be triggers to certain behaviors. Now the routine is, let's for example say that somebody's feeling a bit down and they unconsciously grab some crisps or chocolate to pick themselves up because they see that as a treat. That is the routine, and the more that we do that, the more we're laying down kind of neurological loops in our brain, which are building habits. And the reward of doing that is that you feel momentarily better about yourself. And that loop then continues. So the more that you perform that, unconsciously perform that habit loop, the more it's ingrained and the harder it is to stop. Now, unless you understand and you're mindful, you're aware, you're conscious of those triggers, whether it's an emotional, whether it's physical, whether it's something that happened to you, maybe it's an environment, maybe it's a building, maybe it's a smell, maybe it's music, whatever it is. Unless you're aware of those triggers, you're unlikely to change the actual routine. So the first thing we need to do, other than change our mindset, is to be aware of the triggers and the cues behind that certain food or that kind of junk that we're eating. And one of the ways you can do that is practice more mindfulness, writing food diaries, looking back on your day and seeing what you did and what you've eaten and why you've eaten it. Because a lot of time people are just doing it automatically. Number 3 is gross yourself out with all the ingredients. Now, partly I believe this is the reason I don't eat those junk foods the majority of the time. Don't get me wrong, I do like chocolate, and I do like crisps, and I do like ice cream, and I do like those things. But the issue is that I know what goes in it. I know the ingredients, I know what they can do to me, and I know that it's not healthy. So I'm in a position, therefore, to make an informed choice not to eat those, because I'm kind of literally, why would I want to put something in my body that it's actually going to push me towards illness, make me overweight, make me feel bad? Why would I want to do that? Now, if you're completely unaware of what's in those ingredients, then you're more likely just to do it automatically without thinking about the consequences. Whereas if you brush yourself up on the knowledge of the ingredients, you're more likely to make an informed choice, aren't you? So that would be a big one for me. I would say I generally don't tend to eat anything that's over 4 or 5 ingredients in it. If it's more than that, I don't touch it. If it's a list of ingredients on a packet of crisps or ice cream, no thank you. Then that might change your mindset around, and it's also connected by the treat element, whether or not you want to put that in your mouth or not. Number 4, eat nutritionally dense food. More often than not, people will grab junk food because they are starving, because their body needs a lift, because they're tired, and they haven't eaten a good enough breakfast or lunch or dinner. And they are just ravenous and they just want to stop that feeling of hunger. Now, obviously, the way that you can avoid that is to eat a better breakfast, a better lunch, a better dinner, and make it more nutritionally dense. Has it got nutritionally dense protein? Has it got good fats in it? Does it contain vegetables? That's pretty much it, isn't it? Number 5, stock up on healthy alternatives. This is really where, once we become aware of the cue, the triggers, the emotional triggers, the physical triggers, the environmental triggers, how do we change that routine that basically swap the junk for something else? So this is hummus, guacamole, this is carrots, this is boiled eggs, this is meat, this is energy bars, these are, yogurts, these are natural dense foods which we're going to basically recognize the triggers and then change the routine. And hopefully, maybe you'll argue with me, change the reward, which then is going to be pushing you towards your goal, not away from it. Switch off autopilot. Let's do some mindfulness. Let's spend a day where we're completely mindful of how we think, how we move, what we eat, how we eat, where we eat, and all those things. Most people are going through their day not experiencing it because they're just in it, they're busy, they're tired, they've got lots of triggers going on, and they're eating junk mindlessly without even thinking about it, not even tasting it. If you are going to eat the junk or the chocolate crisps or whatever it is, then eat it mindfully. Perhaps then you might taste it. You might really taste the sensation of it, and it might slow you down, make you not eat so much. Now, the last one, give yourself 30 days to make the changes. The thought of changing all this can be overwhelming, can't it? Because it's a lot to think about. So set yourself 30 days where you challenge yourself to be mindful, to change your mindset, to look at the ingredients, to make a plan, to make an effort to eat better food, to take some alternative snacks in. Try it for 30 days, and what we're doing is we're changing this habit loop. So there we go. Back in the room. It's May. I'm looking forward to summer. Boot camp comes into its element now because we're outdoors and it's beautiful spring, and everybody's looking forward to the summer. So hopefully that helps. Please like and share. Appreciate any comments, and I'll see you soon. Take care.